Hi, I'm Dave Newell. Welcome to my workshop. Air suspension is an increasingly popular addition to motorhomes. It can improve ride quality, stability, even the load carrying capacity of the vehicle. Air suspension basically consists of a pair of airbags that mount between the rear axle and the chassis, and they take part of the load off the springs. One of the problems with motorhomes is, because they're almost always close to fully loaded, they are full of furniture after all, the suspension is very often half compressed and onto the bump stops or auxiliary springs, which gives them a harsh, crashy ride. By replacing those bump stops, auxiliary springs, with air bellows full of compressed air, we can give a bit more compliance to the suspension, take away some of that banging and crashiness, but increase the stability of the vehicle at the same time. You can have full air suspension, which replaces the entire suspension system, or you can have auxiliary suspension. The auxiliary system is what we're talking about today, with just the bellows between the axle and the chassis. The systems can be inflated either manually using a bicycle pump, foot pump, 12-volt compressor, or even a garage forecourt airline, or you can have a built-in compressor with a control panel on the dashboard, so you can inflate or deflate the bags at the touch of a button. So let's have a look at an installed system on a vehicle. This here is the original bump stop or auxiliary spring. This is the part we remove to replace with the airbag. The airbag clamps to the chassis here with this bracket and to the axle here with this bracket on the bottom. The airline pipes come in underneath, and we clamp that to the handbrake cable so that it flexes nice and gently with the movement of the suspension. That then runs through and in protective trunking down to the front of the vehicle where it enters the cab. The pipes come in to the driver's doorstep area where they connect to one of three means of inflating the system. We can have a basic 2 valves, one for each airbag. They're simple Schrader valves just like your car tyres. So they can be inflated with a bicycle pump or a foot pump or a 12-volt compressor or even a garage forecourt airline. You obviously need a pressure gauge to be able to check the pressure in the bags with that system. This would be the next option, which is a single filling point, 2 valves, one for each line, and a gauge, so we can check the pressure in the system easily. To inflate the system, simply turn the 2 valves on, take the cap off, attach your compressor or foot pump, just as before, and this time we can read the pressure on the gauge so we can see exactly what pressure is in the system. This would typically mount on the driver's doorstep about there. The 2 airlines come into these 2 points, one for each side, just through a couple of small holes drilled in the back of the step liner there, and that gives you a nice convenient filling point and pressure check point. So those are the basic filling systems. There is an alternative, which is a built-in 12-volt compressor. We have the control panel for one just here. This switch controls the compressor, and these 2 valves allow us to deflate each side individually. So that's the basic auxiliary air suspension system, including its 3 options on inflation points and the 12-volt built-in compressor. Perfectly viable system to fit yourself, as long as you're a competent DIY mechanic. Pay attention to the usual safety precautions, use axle stands, don't crawl under an unsupported vehicle, chock the wheels so the vehicle can't roll off the stands. Do it on solid ground and level ground. I hope you found this helpful. Enjoy your travels.